in Indonesia. Hopes of finding any more survivors are fading fast following that devastating earthquake and tsunami. It's been 12 days since the 7.5 magnitude quake killed almost 2,000 people, flattened homes and triggered a tsunami that unleashed mudslides. Meanwhile, South African NGO Gift of the Givers volunteers visited Balaroa in Palu, and Njanji Chauke is in Palu as well. And Njanji, a very good morning to give us an update of the situation and the work being done by Gift of the Givers.
Yes, Leanne, thanks for joining us here. We had a very rude awakening at 5 o'clock this morning where we had about 4 aftershocks. And then later on, when we checked in the systems, it was reported that there was a 5.2 earthquake this morning at 5 o'clock, which is about 12 o'clock midnight in South Africa. Most of the people we had to run for cover. It was quite scary, actually, Leanne, as we ran out of our rooms, making sure that we were safe. But right now we are at one of the camps that has been set up here where aid is being distributed. We are with some of Gift of the Givers volunteers, as you can see behind me. They've been going around at the different camps, assisting, distributing aid, attending to the injured. And also we did go to one of the areas where the search and rescue teams were going to search, but this morning they were not allowed to do that. But joining me now to talk more about their operation here is Dr. Yaqub Vahed. Doctor, can you just tell us about your mission so far here today? What has happened so far? And also going back to this morning when that earthquake happened, a 5.2 magnitude earthquake.
Well, that earthquake that happened this morning, it did give all of us, the team members, a shock. And we all basically were worried about what's going to happen next. But thanks to the Almighty, we are all safe and sound. But that does have implications on the patients that we are treating, because most of the people in this area that you see around us are in makeshift camps from the Petobo area where the liquefaction or the mudslide took place. And we are seeing quite a few patients with fractures and with conditions that cannot be treated in the camp or cannot be treated by us as outpatients. When we want to refer them to hospital, they are afraid of going to hospital because the hospital was also damaged in the earthquake. And after today's aftershocks, they are also worried that it might happen again and they might get injured in hospital. So it's a catch-22 situation. The people are not really sure whether they should go to hospital or not. It is also very sad to see that the people that we are treating are mainly, you can see they are the poorest of the poor at the moment because they have no shelter, and whatever little facilities they have is very difficult. It's the conditions are far from perfect and far from ideal. But we are trying our best to use the team to do whatever we can. So that is humanitarian aid. We're also trying now, our team was sent away from one of the other areas. So they are busy helping to put up some tents. And also we're going to continue with the medical work. A lot of them don't have access to our clinics. So we are driving from camp to camp and treating patients and treating and trying to give some temporary support to people with fractures and with those type of conditions.
There you have it from Dr. Yaqub Vahed. Leanne, I'm going to hand over to you because I think we have lost a connection with studio. So I'm back to Johannesburg now.
All right, and Njanji, thanks very much for the update. Well, luckily there was no loss in signal there. We did manage to get the entire interview for you. What a scary moment for those that are there to help. So if you've just tuned in, what Njanji was telling us was that midnight our time, it was in the early hours of the morning that they experienced yet another earthquake, and they say it was around about 5.2, 5.4, something around there, magnitude earthquake that they experienced. Can you imagine the fear that they felt at that time? But luckily they're all okay. And this as they joining in on the helping mission of the people that have been displaced. And at this point, over 1,700 people died from that tsunami and earthquake in Indonesia.